It's not my duty to fill the void in their lives of the lack of their other parent. It's my duty to make sure that they don't feel it. Because right now, there's a lot of things that I want as a woman. And that's a major thing. You're still a woman. Yes, you're a mother, but you're still a woman.
She works the night by the water. She's gone astray, so far away from her father's daughter. She just wants a life for a baby. All on her own, no one will come. She's got to save him. Daily struggle. She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. I'm gonna do what I got.
Hey guys, it's your girl Charlie B back with another video. And as you can see from the title, we're gonna be talking about being a single mother. Now, I'm probably gonna be looking down because I wrote down everything that I wanted to talk about because I want to stay on topic and subject, because as you start talking about things, then one thing can lead to another thing and lead to another. And I'm making this to encourage the next woman and get encouragement as well, as far as there's people who are further along in this single mom game than I am when it comes to like the ages of their kids and this, that, and the other. It's just bounce ideas off of one another, and also mainly to let women know, especially single mom know, single dads too, because there's dads out there doing it too. You're not alone. You are not alone. And if someone could learn from what I've learned from and what I've gone through, and if I can learn from something that someone else has gone through, like, it can happen. I feel like things need to be talked about, because a lot of times people feel like they're by themselves or they're the only one going through it, and honestly, you're not. It took me a minute to realize that. So my personal definition of a single mom is a woman out there just doing it on her own, period. She don't have anybody who is obligated to truly help with her children, and she's out there just doing it on herself. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about my journey as a single mom, just so you see my qualifications to even talk about the situation. So my first child was born July 31st, 2011, and I became a single mother then, but my choice to become a single mother was made like when I was 5 months pregnant. I was not playing no games. Me personally, when it comes to relationships, everyone has faults in a relationship. Me personally, my fault was getting with a cheater, period. Like, you sit up there, you think you are that chick, you think you are that one, I am her. No, boo. No. So once I found out he cheated, I was 5 months pregnant, brought my way back to Texas because I was living in Illinois at the time. Second go around, Lord have mercy, left at 5 months again, which is crazy. With that relationship, I'll probably get into it later on in another video because that's a whole nother subject. But basically he was a cheater too, but I didn't have the hardcore evidence that I needed for that. But also for financial reasons, I was about to be a mother of 3, not just one, a mother of 3, and I need to be able to take care of my children. And if he's not taking care of me, then why would I expect him to take care of my kids? So yeah, so I ended up moving to my small town Louisiana, where I can get a 3-bedroom house for $695 and I can take care of my kids comfortably. So left then. So that's how I became a single mom in a nutshell. Yes, there's way more details, but that's a little bit of my journey. I strongly believe in mental health. When I first got pregnant with Micah, I was like, oh snap. I had just been overseas. I lost my husband. I've been through things as a child, and I was just like, okay, chick, like, you're about to bring a little man into this world, or a little something. When I made the choice to keep my child, I was like, you need to get your mind right, because we suppress so many things as people, period, that it comes back up. And I'm like, I don't want it to come back up when it comes to my kid. So I immediately, before I even left Illinois, I started seeing a counselor. Go to someone who is really going to give you advice. really gonna help you through all your things, through all your mental, whatever you got going on, because mental health is so flipping important. Like, it's so important. So I didn't want to take anything out on my children. I didn't want to be frustrated. I didn't want anything to come back up, because naturally I'm a positive person. Naturally, when anything happens, I immediately go to, okay, so what's the good in this? Like, what can I look at and say, all right, at least this doesn't happen? Like, one time I ran out of gas, and I was like, you know what? At least there was a Harbor Freight across the street and a gas station right across the street from one another. I could walk over and pump it and all that, and I had money in the bank. Like, thank you, Jesus. Even though I was irritated that my crazy way, because I hate pumping gas. Oh my God, that's why I need a man in my life. I do not. Does anybody else hate pumping gas? Like, does anyone else hate it? Because I hate it with a passion. I'm so happy Micah's old enough and I can just look out the door and I'm like, you got this, babe. But anyways, mental health is just, it's just very, very important. And the way that I speak to my children, the way that I hone their brains to want more, to be positive, to push and go to the next level, that's major. And as far as, like, I always live by two things. One thing is, it's not my duty to fill the void in their lives of the lack of their other parent. It's my duty to make sure that they don't feel it, if that makes sense. Like, they don't need to know. As far as Micah's concerned, he has, I want to say 3 other siblings outside of me. So, and he speaks to 2 of them every once in a while. And there's no desire, or he hasn't told me, and I've asked for him to know what's going on with his father. I've even asked him straight up, like, do you know your dad's name? And he's like, no. And with my kids, if they want to know something, they're going to ask. Like, anyone who knows my children, they're going to ask. Whatever, you know? So for him not to even ask, even after I asked him, I'm like, okay, well, whenever we drive up to this bridge, we get to it, that's what it is. But I'm not going to push it on him, nor am I going to hold anything back. And that makes me feel like, okay, well, I've put him in a position where he doesn't feel yet. Like, okay, well, where's this person at? Where's that person at? Because he's surrounded by love. He has a pawpaw, has an uncle. Like, he has all this love around him. So I guess I'm doing a good job living by that mantra, as far as I can't fill that void because I'm not a man, but I can make sure my child doesn't feel it. And the second thing is, a lot of people say, oh, because I'm a single parent, or because I was raised by a single parent, this is how I turned out. That goes hand in hand, in my opinion. And let me put this out here. This is just my opinions. This is my life. I'm sharing this to hopefully help the next person in whatever journey that they're on, as far as parenthood, and just life and finding themselves, period. So these are my opinions. I feel like we as women, we're very emotional. We're very hormonal. We push through most of the time. Me personally, I push through a lot of things. So it's my job to control my actions, control my feelings. Y'all, if y'all hear noise in the background, I'm doing laundry. It's my job to control my actions, control my feelings when it comes to dealing with my children, when it comes to making decisions, being a mother, you know. Now, what I won't do is allow my kids to hurt my feelings. I don't have a problem with telling my children, you hurt my feelings. That's one thing I'm learning from my older generation, is that these kids do not care about your feelings. And I'm like, I will not sit up here and put in all this work for your whole freaking life and you not give a damn about how you made me feel about something. So that's one thing. I will apologize to my children if I did something wrong. I'm not perfect. And I want them to understand no one is perfect at all. And it's okay to apologize, but don't do it again. That's a major thing. Like, don't just apologize and say, oh, I apologize, and just go right back and do the same thing. And also, I want to teach them, like, don't be too prideful to admit when you're wrong, and let's move forward. Let's fix it. Let's do all this. Let's make it happen. And I also want to instill a sense of loyalty. And at the end of the day, things happen. People make mistakes, but that doesn't mean you're unloyal, you know? And when you're vulnerable with the people that you're loyal to, it's like, I feel like it makes the bond stronger. When I sit up there and tell my kids, like, you know what, mommy was wrong, I apologize for that. It's like, all right, mommy, oh, I love you. You know, it's no resentment when it comes to that. So that's life lessons in these little lessons that I'm working on teaching them. And as far as like being with one another, it's so many relationships I feel like they get torn apart because a person cannot admit when they're wrong. They can't say, my bad, I didn't mean to make you feel this way. Me personally, like, I block out a lot of stuff, but when people bring stuff to me and say, this is how you made me feel, and I'm like, dang, like, if I did that, I definitely didn't mean to make you feel that way. There's nothing wrong with saying that, you know? And I have open conversations with all three of my children, and of course more in depth with Micah, but all three of them, because I want them to be able to come to me and express what's going on, what's happening. And especially like when they get out in the world, because I'm not going to be able to be with them 24/7. There's, with where I want to go, there's going to be probably days that I'm not going to be able to see my kids. And I want them to be able to pick up that phone and say, you know what, I can call my mom. I can tell her what's going on. I can be myself with my mother. Like, I never want my kids not to feel like they can't come to me. Then on the other hand, as far as like building them up, if any of y'all follow my social media, if one of y'all know me personally, I'm always pumping my babies up. Like, always. I always want them to know you are the ish. You're the bomb. You're smart. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. You're handsome. Like, I want that to come from this house, especially for when they go outside. And I don't want, when it comes to the little puberty type of stuff, Lord have mercy, y'all pray for me. Pray for me. I just don't want anyone telling them anything new where they're like, oh, well, let me go over here and chill and be like, oh, thank you so much, and just caught up. I don't want them to get caught up. I want them to be humble, but I want them to know before they even walk out this house, you walk out here with your head high, chest out, and go conquer whatever you want to conquer. You could do whatever you want to do. Don't let anybody come at you with any type of crap telling you, no, you can't do this. Who says who? Why, boo? Why? You know, because I always have to think about where I was and how I felt as a child when it came to certain things. And there was no limitations. Prime example, when I've always wanted to be a hairstylist, like always. And, you know, parents ask these questions, what do you want to be when you grow up? A beautician? That's what I said. And it was knocked down. What am I today? A cosmetologist. You know, if I would have just taken this course in high school, life would be different. But honestly, you know what? Now that I think about it, I probably wouldn't have my kids. And I cannot imagine my life without them. I was not supposed to have children. I wanted to be auntie all day. I did not want to have children. I did not want to be tied down to any type of responsibility like that. I wanted to be able to play and send your butt back to the house. But I'm so happy that God is laughing at me, because I actually like these little munchkins. Like, I like them. I love them automatically, but I like them. They're pretty cool. They're cool peoples. When it comes to building them up, I just want them to know, like, you're the bomb. You can do whatever you want to do. You put in the work. And I work hard to show them this is what you have to do. And honestly, I talk to my son and I tell him, because he's like, Mommy, I just want you around more, this, that, and the other. I'm like, look, mommy got some goals, and this is what we have to do to make it happen. So I'm gonna need you to just deal with me for a little while longer. Like, it's gonna be all right. Mommy's gonna set us up to be in a position for me not to have to be away from you like that all the time. Because it'll be like, oh, I'm working from 5 in the morning till 7 in the evening sometimes, just slaying heads. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you to my clients. Shout out to y'all. But my kids are like, where you at? So I make sure that that line of communication is open, because I don't want them to feel like, oh, mommy's just out here just kicking it and not doing nothing. I just don't want to be with you. I don't want them to feel that way. No, that's not the case, honey. I love you. I'm doing all this for us. So once I sit down and explain that, I do have to make time to spend a day at least with Micah, a day at least with my babies. Like, I have to make that time. But that's another thing, what I say. They feel comfortable coming and telling me, look, I need you. I just want to spend time with you. Micah will tell me in a minute, can we just have a movie night? I just want to cuddle, that type of thing. And I don't ever want that to go away. I do want it to evolve, but I don't ever want them not to come to me. One major thing that I had to learn, and I'm still learning, I feel like I'm embracing it now. It truly takes a village. It takes a village. It takes a village to raise an adult, adults have a village, but it seriously takes a village to raise a child. Now, for me, when I made the decision and said, you know what, I'm not going to have an abortion, I'm going to keep my children, I was like, okay, look, you don't want to be with the man that you made these children with, so you have to make this choice to do this on your own. With that being said, because I made those choices, I find it very hard to receive help from my village. I found it extremely hard because I felt like this is my choice. You all didn't choose to have these children. I chose to have these children. And as I'm moving along in my parent journey, I'm realizing even married people, even people who are together, have a village. They have people around them who take their kids, who help them out, whether it be grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, coaches. Like, everyone has a village. No, they don't take on most of the responsibility, but you do need that break. When I tell y'all, for the past, like, literally my uncle would have to be like, you mind me coming to get the kids? Because I would have my kids right here. Like, Micah was on my back when I started doing hair after I had him. Ryan and Riley was on my back. Like, yeah, it was crazy. And now that I'm moving forward and I want more, especially as far as my career, to be able to leave an inheritance for my children, I'm like, okay, I do need to lean on my village. I do need to make sure that I have this time, not just to always work, but mentally to just release, to go blow off some steam type of stuff. So it's okay. If there's some women out there like me who are just like, it's my decisions, my baby, this, that, and the other, it's okay to get help. It's okay to have help every once in a while, boo. I'm telling you, it is okay. All right? I can't believe I was saying that. That stuff is crazy. When I tell y'all I'm stubborn, and I was really stubborn, even when it comes to like the co-parenting situation, because I want to go to the next level, I had to click. I had to change my mentality when it came to the whole situation, period. I can't say I'm not confrontational, because when I'm pushed there, I will go there. I don't like to be confrontational. I don't like to be negative, because I feel like energy is major. And for me, either I'm extremely nice or I'm a bitch. And I don't like the bitch. I don't like, because I really, really feel something in my heart. And it's just not good. So I like to stay happy, Charlie. I really like to stay happy. So I had to realize in this situation, okay, you got to change some stuff up if you want to go to the next level. So you don't want to do what you're supposed to do. So guess what? Anything I can do, you can do. Boom. Let's just leave it at that. And we'll talk about that another time. But your village is major. Your circle is important. It does not have to be a big circle, but I'ma just be transparently honest. Your girl just came to some realizations in the past 2 weeks or week, honestly, and my circle is made up of a diverse group of people, and I had to first make sure I was correct in the situation and found out, okay, look, you need to apologize for a certain situation. But then I had to do what was best for me when it comes to, let's just go on to the next subject, love. Okay, when it comes to relationships, love. Me personally, I've been single since, I left in July of 2015. So about 4.5 years now, a little over 4.5 years. And me personally, I just threw myself into work and my kids, work, kids, work, kids, work, kids. And I work by myself, so of course I'm gonna be by myself. And with this most recent situation, I go for what's comfortable. After a while, I've built trust issues. For the longest time in my early 20s, like in my 20s, in my early 30s, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to trust people until they give me a reason not to trust them. Now going through these situations with the fathers of my children, I'm like, oh, I don't trust nobody. Nobody. Or any dude, period, with my heart, whatever, because I feel like I love hard, and if you hurt me, that's an emotion I don't want that energy on my kids. Let me put it like that, because I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I can't put myself in a situation where it's gonna affect my babies. So I just choose to be chill. And anyone who knows me knows this is a big step. But I'm so happy I went through this past 2 weeks now, week and a half, whatever, of just chilling with myself, talking to myself, talking to my peoples, and now I feel like I'm open. And your girl's gonna start, putting herself out there, getting a groove back type of thing. But when it does come to love, I have to be cautious because of the situation. My last situation affected my son big time. And I never want that to be the case for my daughters. I never wanted to be the case for my son either, but it's happened. Mistakes turn into a lesson. It's not gonna happen no more. I definitely, oh my gosh, my daughters, I could not do that to them. But I had to learn, like, okay, you gotta let the past go. You gotta look at that in reality, but you literally have to let it go in order to move forward, in order to get what you deserve. And my circle helped me do that. My best friend, shout out to Leah, she's the shit. Some of my guy friends out here, they're pretty awesome when it comes to that. My cousins, oh my God. So I appreciate y'all so much, because now I'm open. And then my friends out here, let me not leave y'all out, because y'all help too. But yeah, you have to keep your mind right and be able to compartmentalize, because right now there's a lot of things that I want as a woman, and that's a major thing. You're still a woman. Yes, you're a mother, but you're still a woman. And I was getting my prescriptions for the past, 2-3 years. Yeah. I would go long periods of time without getting my prescription. If y'all don't know what prescription is, shagging. Let's put it like that. I go long periods of time. But when I was getting my prescription, it would be from one person, and it was easy for me to just be like, okay, shoe fly, whatever. But in this most recent situation, y'all, your girl was gone. And I had to hurry up and reel it back in, and because I did not want it to affect my children at all. So I had to set in place and think about, okay, this is the deal. Would you rather have this person out of your life? Would you rather have this person basically a cut buddy? Or would you just want to remain friends? And we're emotional creatures, and you have to identify that as women. Like, you get to the point where you're too grown for some things sometimes. So when situations arise, and if you're not analyzing it and figuring out, okay, well, this means this and that, it's like, come on, sis. Like, you know. So I had to make a decision. So this particular person, I'm like, you know what? I care for this person as a person outside of being cut buddies. So let's just be friends and not be cut buddies, because no. And you have to stick to that. Like, stick to that, sis. Like, don't sit up there and, like, one of my major rules, and I don't know, like, people have said they admire me for it. If you say you're not going back, don't go back. Like, when it comes to my children's fathers, no. Stop giving the boom boom. Stop it. Okay? Just don't do it anymore, because that will get you emotionally jacked up. I went back one time, and that was just to prove a point, because he was talking mad-ish, saying, oh, I don't want to be with her. Da, 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 da. Okay, but you still want this, though. So that's the only time, and that was just to prove a point. Other than that, no, don't ever, ever, ever go back. You have to be mentally strong. And if you're not strong in this, because honestly, I'm happy that I did spend all these years being single, because it made me look at myself. It made me understand who I am, what I want, and not just jumping into something just because you're lonely or just because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Because I'm on the outside looking in at relationships, and I'm like, that's not what I want. And this is how this situation probably should have been handled. Because as emotional as we are, ladies, like, we could prevent a lot of fights. Like, honestly, we're very emotional, and unfortunately, men are emotional too. They just don't come out and say it. They don't come out and be like, oh, this is how you made me feel. A woman, we would be like, this is how you made me feel, in a heartbeat. And because they don't come out and say that, we'll be like, oh, he all right, this, that, and the other. But honestly, they're not all right. And my relationship with my son is honestly helping me too, because you got to think, these men were once young boys, and young boys do have feelings, but they were taught, oh, you got to be tough. Oh, you got to suck that up. Yes, but at the same time, just like we want someone to be vulnerable with, they need somebody to be vulnerable with too. And I had to realize, like, my mouth, bruh, my mouth can be a samurai sword. And when they tell us, babe, not right now. Let's just not talk about it right now. Sis, let's just not talk about it right now. Go call your friend. Like, go call your mama, your sister, or something. Me personally, I like to call my peoples and check up on them to get my mind off of stuff. And be like, if I'm going through something, like, girl, how you doing? What's going on with you? How you feeling? You know, rather than just spewing everything out. Because we don't want to always, I made that mistake with my best friend. And that's why she looks at me crazy about this past situation that I was in. But don't go and tell everybody a whole bunch of crap about whoever you feeling, liking you with, or whatnot. Redirect the situation. Like I said, I will call my peoples just to check up on them. If I'm going through something, I'll call them, check up on them, see how they're doing. Because everybody's always going through something. Just because you're a single mom does not mean the world revolves around you and just your kids. And sometimes that could be a nice little escape. Going and talking to somebody else about what they got going on, helping them. It's like I said, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise an adult. It takes a village all the way around. So make sure you have your circle set up the right way. Don't have anybody in your circle who is gonna be discouraging, who you don't admire. Like my circle, I admire their drive. So that's really, really major. So if we're gonna sum this whole thing up, basically, your mental state has to be on point when it comes to being a single parent. Get somebody to help you if you don't have that. Because I'm already setting up appointments when it comes to that, because I feel like I'm mentally strong, but there's still issues that I haven't dealt with. And I don't want that to spill out. I don't want that to be an issue when it comes to how I raise my kids, and if I ever break down or if I'm too emotional when it comes to my babies. Then when it comes to your village, be open to getting help. And another thing about your village, don't take advantage. There are some people who do take advantage of their village. That's not right. Don't take advantage of your village. I can't stress that enough. Because then people not going to help you. If people see you doing what you need to do for you, then they're more than likely going to be there. Like, you know what? I got her. But if you're just like lollygagging and just, oh, such and such a watch him, I can go do this, I can go do that, all that, that's going to get old after a while. So make sure you're moving with a purpose every single day. Make sure there's a purpose for whatever you're doing. Honestly. And then when it comes to love, don't ever allow anybody into your lives, into your children's lives, who are going to affect you and affect their dynamic. And all right, my other camera, the phone jacked up. Anyways, so I was saying, you don't ever want to put anyone into your life or your children's life who's going to affect you in a negative way. And work on identifying that early. And I'm not saying you should listen to every person that is coming at you and saying something, but that's where your circle comes in, because your circle sees things that you don't see because you caught up in the pheromones and the newness and, oh, the wanting to have someone type of situation. And your circle out here looking like, nah, sis, that's not it. He ain't it. She ain't it. You know? So if I can leave y'all with anything, with one thing, is to know you're not alone in this situation. You're not the only one going through it. Someone's probably going through worse than what you're going through. Keep pushing. Keep going. No matter what. And live every day. Make sure every day has a purpose to it. Every single day needs a purpose. It don't have to have that day could be, oh, well, I need to rest my mind. I need to chill out so that I can be refreshed, you know? Or I have to work on this project to make this happen. Or I need to put myself in this position to make that happen. Write things down. Plan it, you know? But have a purpose so that you're not just wandering in the wilderness like the Israelites were, eating manna. So, yeah. So thank y'all for watching. Comment down below if you want to see more, if you want me to talk more in detail about things. Let me know if you like the video. I want the next woman to know, like, you got this. You got this, sis. Or dude, if you're a single dad out there, like, and holding it down, you got this. Just know you got it. All right, y'all. Bye.